opportunities. They had a chance to win. But that 3 points, man, that 3 points was crucial.
It was the difference in the game, 27-24, the final score, and it was really almost three separate games. There was the first half where the Rams were in complete control, minus the very last drive by San Francisco where they got those 3 points that we just talked about. The Rams were physically up for it. The Rams were able to move the ball through the air, and while they didn't have a ton of success on the ground, they were committed to running the ball, and it felt like they had them on the brink of getting that thing to tip to that point where this game's a runaway, it's gone. It didn't happen. They come out in the second half. San Francisco, as you mentioned, they score 2 touchdowns right out of the gate, just boom, boom, in the third quarter, and all of a sudden it's a football game again. The Rams rally in the fourth quarter. They get the unbelievable interception from Jalen Ramsey to prevent San Francisco from going ahead at that point. They turn around. They drive all the way back down the field. They get a touchdown pass to Cooper Kupp to take the lead. And then the defense can't stop. They get the tying kick at that point, and then all of a sudden we go into overtime, and San Francisco does what they do, Kirk. They grind clock. They run the ball really successfully, and they got enough throws from Jimmy G to win the game.
Yeah, that final drive for them, I mean, that was a vintage drive, and they found some ways to just get the ball down the field. You're talking about 80-something yards, and they needed a touchdown to win the game. They needed a touchdown to tie the game, and they got it. I put that on the Rams' defense. As bad as, the way the game kind of played out, they were the more physical team in the second half. The Rams couldn't tackle. How many times did we see a missed tackle or a running back get to the second level of the Rams defense? Overall, I didn't like the way the Rams defense played in the second half. They could have definitely, I thought, maybe being a little bit tighter, but it kind of goes to show you how, yes, you have the stars. You have the Jalen Ramsey. Von Miller made some plays. But,
big sack by Von Miller.
We didn't mention Aaron Donald's name at all today. Not at all. Leonard Floyd didn't mention his name. Didn't hold the edge a lot of times. So there were some things that the Rams have to clean up. But I think overall you have to lick your wounds a little bit because you got to go back and play another game next week. Nothing's truly lost, right? If you talk about, and this is where you have to be a head coach. Head coach walks in and say, fellas, there's nothing that's changed. We wanted to clinch the playoffs.
They did.
We did it. We wanted to
division.
be NFC West champions. We did. We want to be NFC champions. That's still in front of us. Nothing changes. We lost a football game, but nothing changes for us. Our goals are still in front of us. We still want to go to the Super Bowl. Now, for us on the outside, well, it doesn't look too good. That's for us to say.
Yeah,
the guys in that locker room have to have a different mindset to going out and winning couple games put you in the NFC Championship, and that should be the talk.
Look, it sounds like a platitude, but you're absolutely right. You kind of flush this one and get ready to go, but everything that you just said is true. But I would imagine, Kirk, it's one thing to lose this game. It's one thing to lose the game in overtime the way that it did, but this was a game that you felt like you had your hands around, ready to go in a certain spot, and all of a sudden you end up on the wrong side of it, 27-24. Another decision that Sean McVay, that I'm looking at Twitter, I'm seeing some phone calls that are already starting to come in, 877-710 ESPN, the decision to run it 3 times towards the end of regulation as opposed to try to put the ball in the air and maybe gain that first down and end the game. 3 straight running plays from the Rams. What did you make of that decision from Sean McVay?
Yeah, I thought maybe you would have thrown the football on third down, but I get it. Remember, that 49ers pass rush was getting to Matthew Stafford.
5 sacks.
Yeah, with 4. But think about the second half that they played, especially that fourth quarter. Matthew Stafford's already got a bum, looks like a foot. I don't know if it's a toe, an ankle, something's going on. I get it. Run the football. Hopefully you get into your big boy packages and you're able to go out and get a first down. But the goal was to make the 49ers burn their timeouts. They did that. Now, what if they went for it on third down? Passed the ball on third down. It's incomplete. Now the 49ers got 1 timeout and a long field to have to drive, and that 1 timeout would have been definitely crucial for them. So it's a situation where I'm not killing McVay for that. I think a lot of coaches would have did the same thing because you're banking on your defense to just get a stop. I mean, 1 tackle in bounds, and guess what? That clock's rolling. That clock's moving. But, I mean, an exceptional play by Deebo Samuel. He really, truly won the game for the 49ers. He was just unstoppable for that 49ers team today. And the Rams just didn't have an answer for him. Jimmy Garoppolo made some throws, but anytime he needed it, he just put the ball out there, and Deebo Samuel did the rest.
Here what Deebo Samuel did today. He threw a pass for a touchdown, a 24-yard touchdown pass. He carried it 8 times for 45 yards and scored a touchdown along the way, and he also caught 4 passes for 95 yards on 6 targets. So just another fantastic performance from him. p.m. 27-24 is the final score. San Francisco wins in overtime. They are into the playoffs as well. Lots more to get to, including your phone calls, 877-710-3776. That's all coming up on the Coors Light postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
You've heard about it a lot on 710 ESPN the last few months. The 710 Mandy Awards. Sunday, February 6th at the Quiet Cannon in Montebello. It is a celebration of everything 710 ESPN. Of course, the award show has been sold out for a while now, but have you voted yet? Go to 710awards.net. Get your votes in now. And of course, the 710 Mandy Awards, proudly sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Gather the crew for a full lineup of chicken deliciousness. Visit any Buffalo Wild Wings today and enjoy.
Don't miss the Coors Light postgame show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA Sports Talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. You're listening to the Coors Light postgame show
on the ESPN LA Rams radio network. We recap Rams Niners today from SoFi.
And the Niners get the win today for Week 18. And the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, which means the Rams still get that NFC West crown. This is the Coors Light postgame show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams.
The Rams play here.
Leave it all on the field. 1, 2, 3. Leave it all here.
We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light postgame show.
Coors Light.
Keeping Southern California chill all season long.
The Coors Light postgame show.
Here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
27-24 is the final score in overtime. San Francisco beats the Los Angeles consecutive time. The Niners get into the playoffs. They will go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. They are 10-7. The Rams finish the season with a loss. They lose for their 5-game losing streak comes to an end, Kirk. But because Arizona lost to Seattle today in the desert, the Rams are your NFC West champions. They will host the Cardinals next weekend. We'll know by the end of the night whether they're playing on Saturday, Sunday, or the new Monday Night Football game that is here this year. But the Rams will host one playoff game at SoFi Stadium next weekend. So they do have that to look forward to. I know that we have some phone calls that we want to get to. 877-710-ESPN if you want to get in and talk about today's game. Let's start in Los Angeles with Chris. Chris, you are on with Travis and Kirk on the Coors Light postgame show. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, fellas. Love the show. Hey, Kirk, I got to disagree with you, though, on the coaches and the decisions to try to run the ball to burn timeouts. I'm about to scream because coaches would rather cause the other team to burn timeouts over getting a first down and going on and winning the game. Because the way the game is now with easy offensive pass interference calls, you can't give a team with almost 2 minutes the ball hoping to hold them. And there's other ways to accomplish that, like bubble screens. So instead, the Rams basically conceded and just said, we'll give you one last opportunity to beat us. And I think that's ridiculous. And Sean McVay has made no adjustments repeatedly on these losses. They scored 17 points in the first half. They can't run the ball, but there's no adjustments, in my opinion, to the failure of being able to run the ball. How about some...
Okay, Chris, I want to get in here and respond to some of these things here really quickly. Kirk, before you go, I just want to say, look, the adjustments in the second half, we can say whatever we want. We'll talk about these things, and there were some decisions today that I didn't really agree with. But as far as Sean McVay goes at half, this is the first time in his entire NFL head coaching career that he's lost a game that he had the lead at the half, and it happened in overtime. So this idea that he does not, know what to do when playing with the lead and adjustments go, I find that one very hard to swallow.
I mean, just think about this, though. The Rams had a situation with 1 minute, 50 seconds on the clock. Okay. Now, they ran the ball 3 times, and the 49ers burned 3 timeouts. By the time the 49ers took over, they had 1 minute, 27 seconds, and no timeouts, needing to score 7.
A touchdown, right.
A touchdown. Not a field goal, a touchdown. I think it may be in a scenario where you're saying, no, we may want to go for it here and throw the ball because they only need 3. They needed 7. I'm putting that on the shoulders of my defense. You're going to tell me and look Aaron Donald in the face and say, hey, Aaron, we're going to try to win it right here. No, Coach, put it on our back. Make sure they run out of timeouts. We're going to tackle them in bounds. We're going to make sure we get Jimmy Garoppolo. No, I don't. That's one situation there I'm not going to put on McVay. You run the football 3 times. Make sure they spend all of their timeouts. And with, less than that, 87 seconds left? 87 seconds. No timeouts. I got Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, that secondary, the linebackers, come on, man, against Jimmy Garoppolo.
G. Right.
Okay, against Jimmy Garoppolo. You'll find a way. And they were doing that, but what happened? They just missed tackles. Guys didn't make plays. I'm not putting that on McVay and his play calling there because think about if you did go for it on that 3rd down situation. You don't get it now. You're giving Jimmy Garoppolo and that offense 1 timeout plus the extra time on the clock because the clock stops. No, what they did was perfect. I thought everything lined up. Your defense just has to make a play there. Rams defense makes a play. Sean McVay, Rams, everybody win. You go home. And I think everybody felt that within that situation.
Yeah, it felt like the one in the first half was more troublesome to me than this one. Because, look, and you said it, Kirk, it's the Jimmy G of it all that makes me feel like that was the right thing to do. If that's Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady over there, I'm with you. Let's go. Let's get a first down. Let's end the game. Let's not let them have the ball back. Right. With Jimmy G with 87 seconds left and needing a touchdown to drive 80-some-odd yards to do it, I'll take my chances right there. That is not Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady back there. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
He did it, and he got it done. But I think that's more of a credit to him and an indictment of the defense rather than the decision to not put the ball in the air in those 3 plays.
Yeah, and what you did see was that the Rams were their weaknesses in their defense. Weakness, what we saw today was tackling, number 1. And then also the weakness was in their 3rd corner. They attacked Dante Dion today. They attacked David Long. They attacked the other guys. It wasn't the Jalen Ramsey they attacked. It wasn't the Darius Williams they attacked. George Kittle, we didn't even hear from George Kittle throughout the football game throughout. This is a Pro Bowl, all-pro tight end.
Who usually has big games against the Rams.
They kept him in check for the most part. So it was more about Jimmy G, the 49ers. They found something, and they kept picking on it. Was the Rams' 3rd and 4th corners today. I will take that in a heartbeat every single time. I will go with that same scenario every single time of making them call their timeouts and you having your defense on the field, the Rams defense on the field, to make 1 stop. And they almost had that. I mean, Von Miller came in and made a big sack. So you had these opportunities there for you. They just didn't make the plays down the stretch.
It's going to get lost in the shuffle, Kirk, because of the end result, and the Rams ultimately end up losing the game and going from the 2 seed down to the number 4. But that pick that Jalen Ramsey made in the end zone, that is, you're not going to see a much better play than that.
And on Jalen Ramsey, situational awareness, the Rams still ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive. So let's put that out there.
Stay in the end zone.
Stay in the end zone.
Yep.
Just understand where you're at. And teammates trying to tell him, I get Jalen Ramsey. He's a playmaker. He's trying to go score a touchdown. Stay in the end zone. Now, didn't hurt the Rams.
Later on, though, as they were driving in that game, we saw him take a couple of chances, and all of a sudden, there goes the 49er offense because he's trying, he's creeping a little bit. He's cheating as opposed to keep everything in front of you, keep that clock rolling, don't let him big plays.
And Deebo Samuel, I'm going to keep 2 sets of eyeballs on him at all time. He's really the only guy that can truly beat you. The other guys weren't really, to me, weren't going to beat you deep down the field. Deebo Samuel was their big play threat. And in the situation, I think Raheem Morris has to stand up and take some of this blame as well, because the Rams defensively just looked out of whack in those end-of-game segments, whether it's end of regulation and overtime. The Rams just seemed like that they could not get off the field. They couldn't tackle. And more importantly, they could keep the ball in front of them.
No, it seemed like they were in the backfield a lot today, and they couldn't make any tackles on Samuel in particular. He was just running wild on them today. Let's try another phone call here. Let's go to Mo this time. Mo, you're on the Coors Light postgame show with Travis and Kirk. What's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing? I just wanted to talk about that last call with Sean McVay, 37. I hear you, Kirk.
Yeah.
But I like the previous caller said, you got a chance to end the game there. And you lose 5 times in a row to 49ers. As a fan, I just want to see you go for it. I get it. You take an extra 20 seconds off the clock and make it a timeout. But another thing was the defense. I agree with you. They let us down there. And I love Jalen, but like you said, pick that knee there in the end zone when you get the interception. And that big play on that 49ers drive when they got the touchdown to tie the game, you saw he bit on the outright on Kittle. Debo came right behind him and tried to recover, dove for it, missed. And, when that happened, that just took my soul. I was like, what do we got to do to beat these guys? But like you said, we're in the dance. You get the Cardinals, a familiar opponent. Hey, to me, it's not that bad to have the 49ers in the playoffs. They can go wreck shop against Dallas.
Right.
And then, hey, maybe they go to Green Bay and wreck shop. So everything's in front of you. Like you said, we're in the playoffs, one division, regroup, know your mistakes, correct it, and play ball.
Yeah, and look, I'll repeat it again. When you talk about this football game, I'm still going for it on 3rd and 7 in terms of running the football and forcing them to call timeouts. You got to understand the situation on the field. And understand the situation of the game. It's 3rd and 7. The 49ers have 1 timeout remaining. If I exhaust their 1 timeout, I've got Jimmy Garoppolo and their offense trying to drive 80-plus yards to score 7. If they're kicking 3, that's a little bit different.
The one. That's not the one, Kirk.
If there's 3 points, I get it, okay? I'm trying to end it here because if I do end it, then they can't get – but they got to drive to score a touchdown? Come on, man. I put that on my defense all day. I will take that over and over again. If I'm a defender, I'm telling my coach, hey, run it here. Make sure they got all their timeouts. Not trying to end it right there on the 3rd and 7 where my quarterback has already had a bum toe. The pressure has been getting to him throughout that second half. I don't put him in that situation to have to stare down the gun barrel and throw a dart to who? Cooper Kupp has been – they're going to cover Cooper Kupp. They're going to do all – I just didn't – yeah. I'm getting excited about it.
No, I think you're right. I think that's
not the play.
I think there's room for criticism of Sean McVay today, in particular towards the end of the first half. But the decision to run it 3 times in a row there, under the circumstances that you're describing. If it's Aaron Rodgers, I don't agree. If it's Tom Brady, I don't agree.
Correct.
If it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm all right with what he
and
had to do.
49ers.
And the 49ers. And I'll tell you what, give Jimmy Garoppolo some credit. He was really good today. He's not going to get confused with those other guys we just mentioned, but he put some plays together today when he had to have it. They came out in that second half. They were down 17-3. They had done nothing in the first half that made you think they were going to get anything done. And he was really good in the second half. I know the pick to Ramsey felt like a backbreaker at the time, but he shook that off pretty well. Next thing you know, they turn around, they score, and they win the game in overtime. So credit to him.
Yeah, Rams defensive execution down the stretch has to be better. That's all it is. You left off a wide open Juwan Jennings in the end. That was a busted coverage by the Rams defense. That's all that was. It wasn't like the 49ers were doing anything special. Mm-hmm. Just busted coverage. Guys not doing their assignment. Not being used to being in those situations. This is what happens. You learn You got to learn from it. You got to move on from it. But I'm not putting that on the coach. That one is on the players and the defensive staff. They got to get better.
All right, let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles. We are the voice of LA.
All right, we got a lot of phone calls that we still want to get to. If you want to get in and talk about the Rams season, 27-24. It ends today at SoFi Stadium, the regular season, that is, in overtime. They will be back at SoFi next weekend. We're still waiting to find out exactly which day. They will host the Arizona Cardinals in that 4-5 matchup in the NFC. 877-710-3776. Plus, we'll hear from the head coach, Sean McVay. That's all coming up on the Coors Light postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
You've heard about it a lot on 710 ESPN the last few months. The 710 Mandy Awards. Sunday, February 6th at the Quiet Cannon in Montebello. It is a celebration of everything 710 ESPN. Of course, the award show has been sold out for a while now, but have you voted yet? Go to 710awards.net. Get your votes in now. And of course, the 710 Mandy Awards, proudly sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Gather the crew for a full lineup of chicken deliciousness. Visit any Buffalo Wild Wings today and enjoy.
Don't miss the Coors Light postgame show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Yeah. Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local. Hit it!
LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott Kaplan. Hit it!
The new fall lineup with even more LA sports talk.
Even more LA sports talk.
710 ESPN. Coors Light postgame show.
And the Niners get the win today for Week 18. There is just something about the Niners with the Rams.
Snap back to Stafford. 4-man rush from the Niners. He launches deep down the right side. Looking for Odell Beckham Jr. It's intercepted. Intercepted at the 20. And the San Francisco 49ers have won it.
We get you closer to all that went down right now on the Coors Light postgame show.
Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long.
On the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
This is the Coors Light postgame show, live at Hollywood Park Casino. Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
27-24 is the final score. The Niners beat the Rams in overtime. Both teams into the playoffs. The Rams as NFC West champs. They will host the Arizona Cardinals at SoFi Stadium next weekend as the number 4 seed. The 49ers, they will head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys in a matchup between the 3 and the 6 teams. And Kirk, you said it during the pregame show. If the Rams don't turn the ball over, they're going to win the game. Well, they turned it over twice. 2 more interceptions from Matthew Stafford. They lose the game. And in particular, the last play of the game, it looked like Odell had a step on his guy, and that ball was just underthrown.
Yeah, that ball was underthrown. That's a poor pass from Matthew Stafford, and he's got to let it rip. He didn't let it rip. If anything, I'm going to overthrow Odell. I'm not going to put up a 50-50 ball. Odell Beckham tried his best to come back for that football, but he beat the corner. That should have been a touchdown throw. Mm-hmm. If Matthew Stafford puts that ball out there, we're talking a different game. The Rams may score and win the football game on an outstanding throw from Matthew Stafford. So, no, that was on Matthew Stafford, that interception. He had another interception earlier in the game as well. It's just those types of plays for Matthew Stafford has to be out of his game. I mean, it's consecutive games in a row where he's turned the ball over and
multiple times,
and you can't win games like that. The Rams don't have a chance in the playoffs if they play like that. If they play, or if their quarterback has those types of moments, you're not going to win football games.
You might get away with one, but it does feel once you get past that first one, if you're into 2 and more, then you're really playing with fire. And they nearly pulled it out again today, but they didn't. We saw them turn it over 3 times, 2 interceptions and a fumble against Baltimore. They win the game at the end. We saw them throw 3 interceptions in Minnesota. They found a way to win the game despite the 3 interceptions. But today, in the last one, it cost them the game.
Yeah, it cost them the game. And, you fought hard to be in a situation that you were in, but I need more from my quarterback. And I know everybody's going to say, well, with golf and still, Matthew Stafford put them in this situation, though. I mean, this team still won the division. They bested themselves by 2 games this year. Mm-hmm. They still have everything in front of them. But for right now, I do need more from Matthew Stafford. Yes, he is going to get the criticism. He is going to, he was in Detroit. Everybody said he's the same quarterback. I agree. What I'm seeing from him so far is that, yes, there is good with the bad. He has not been an elite quarterback, but I definitely say that he's been a quarterback that has upgraded this offense, but you do have to take the bad with the good.
Well, the pressure on him going into the game next weekend against Arizona is going to be enormous.
Oh, yeah.
Because, look, like we talked about, it's not to win the division as nice as it is. It's not to have a particular seed and as low, you'd rather be as high as you possibly can. It's about what are you going to do in the playoffs. And if they win next weekend, we're still playing playoff games. Everybody's feeling pretty good about it. If the other thing happens, then we're having a much different conversation after that going into the next season with Matthew Stafford along the way. Of course, Sean McVay is the man responsible for the Rams organization. He spoke with J.B. Long after the
They do clinch the West, but they fall out of the 2 seed to the 4. They will host Arizona next week. Sean, where does this group stand following this deflating loss?
Yeah, exactly where you would think.
Coach, obviously next week you guys play the Cardinals. Since you played them twice, what is it going to be like to play them a third time? How are you going to get prepared for that?
Yeah, we got to start right away. We're not going to allow the disappointment of this game to affect the way that we prepare and look forward. I love the way that our guys battled. We just didn't finish. Didn't make enough plays. They did, and it was a back and forth game. But ultimately, we have to play better. We have to protect better. We have to do a lot of things better as we move forward.
10 seconds.
Sure, Sean, that you'll replay in your mind tonight before you go prepare for the Cardinals.
There's a lot I could go over.
All right, we'll let you do that.
Okay.
And get set for the wild card round.
All right, so that's Sean McVay with JB and Mo after the game. And look, we know that Sean McVay is usually after a loss a little more taciturn than he is after a win. That's just the way that things go. But when he said exactly where you would think, JB asked, where does this leave you after the overtime loss? Exactly where you would think. What does that mean, Kirk? Because I don't know. I mean, if I were a member of the team, I'd be crushed. But we've talked about the Rams before, that they're a pretty resilient group. They don't ride a ton of highs and lows. It's where they think, are they division champs getting ready for the playoffs, feeling pretty good despite what happened today?
No, they got a bad taste in their mouth. Think about it. That's 6 games in a row that you've lost to the 49ers. And that's the team that right now it seems like you can't beat. And you had them won. You had them beat throughout the game. And just mistakes that put them back in the football game, that's hard for you, for a coach. That's hard, because I think also, too, you want and you need your players to make better plays, better decisions. and you put in and invested in so much in this team, and yet this team's a 4 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You invested a lot. And that's what one game did for him, because there was so much riding on that game, and you felt that it was all there for you. And with one loss, you go from the 2 to the 4, and now you don't really feel good about yourself going into the playoffs. Where you win that football game, you can definitely say, hey, the Rams are going to be a team that I think, hey, they can make some noise in the playoffs. And right now, it looks like they may be fighting for their lives in the wild card round.
All right, let's try another phone call here. If you'd like to get in and talk about today's game, talk about what's coming up next week against the Arizona Cardinals, 877-710-3776. Let's go over to the west side, Santa Monica, and Eric. Eric, you're on with Travis and Kirk on the Coors Light postgame show. What's up?
Hey, guys, I just wanted to say, how many times have we heard coaches say they play to their strength? Kirk, I might agree with you about relying on the defense if we had not seen how badly the Rams' defense was playing at that time, regarding the 3 run plays. They were gassed. They were being torched. Troy Aikman was talking about it. So I think it's wrong for a coach to say, I'm going to rely on this defense for my last defense for the win, instead of saying, hey, let me try to get a 2-yard play that's not a run play. And if I don't make it, so what? They have a couple of extra seconds on the clock. They have a timeout. I'd much rather have a chance of not giving them the ball, knowing my defense has been playing horribly. What, they give up 17, 21 unanswered points? So that's where I differ with you. If the defense were dominating, I agree 100%. But that wasn't the case today. The defense looked horrible. We've always looked horrible against San Francisco. That's why I think you go for it, man.
Kirk, tell me what you think about that, because while the defense was not great today, I think I'd stop short of it being horrible. They got some stops when they needed. They didn't give up 57 points. They gave up 27 points, which in the NFL is kind of right in the middle of the curve. Right. It didn't feel like that was some the last drive where they went down and set up the field goal, the drive where they went down and scored the winning touchdown, neither one of those were very impressive. But for the majority of the day, the Rams defense did its job.
Think about it. They only gave up 3 points at halftime, and honestly, they shouldn't have gave up 3.
Right.
If they should go into halftime with no points given up. Now, the 49ers came out. They made some adjustments in the second half, and the Rams just really couldn't tackle. But you were going to put the 49ers offense into a throwing scenario, not a running scenario.
Right.
With no timeouts left, this is what you invested in your defense for. You invested in bringing in Von Miller. You invested in giving Jalen Ramsey the contract. You invested in Leonard Floyd in the offseason deal. You've got the best defensive player in the NFL in Aaron Donald with less than 90 seconds and no timeouts left. Come on, man. You cannot have that situation where they still have a timeout. No, I would love to be in that situation. And look, they ran the football 3 times. I get it. Maybe you want to see more creativity, but understand that the quarterback is not a dual threat guy. So if the first progression is not there, he's going to have to throw the ball away. I would have definitely loved to see them be in a situation where they ran the football and got it on a 4-minute offense type, 3 straight runs, and you would have got a first down. They didn't do that. And so I think still overall, I don't understand why people are like, well, they should have tried to go for it. I'm not putting my quarterback in that situation. The ball bounces up or anything like that. And just understand, Kirk, it was 7 points,
exactly.
Not 3.
It was 7 points, not 3. It's Jimmy Garoppolo on the other side as well. And the other point is, and I know that this didn't happen, and I know that we all react to things that have happened, but if they would have thrown an interception in that situation, and I know you can say, well, let's make sure, it's either our guy or nobody. Sure, I understand, but blank happens. Sometimes stuff happens. Jimmy G wasn't trying to throw a pick against Jalen Ramsey in that situation, and he made a play, and all of a sudden the Rams went back on top. But I have a much bigger issue with what happened at the end of the first half, which ultimately cost the Rams 3 points. Rams lost the game by 3 points. That's the one to me that if I'm Sean McVay, that I go back and I replay in my head over and over again. Not the 3 runs in a row towards the end of the game. It was the play. It was the empty call. Yeah. They had, Matthew Stafford's back there by themselves on 3rd and 1. They decide to empty the backfield and they decide to throw the ball. They end up getting sacked. They have to punt it away. All of a sudden, San Francisco has the ball. They go right down. They score. And now all of a sudden, that momentum changed significantly in the space of about a minute.
People forget that last week the Rams scored a touchdown at the end of the game. They had no timeouts. The Baltimore Ravens had no timeouts, and yet their defense rose up and made plays.
Yep.
Von Miller sacked Tyler Huntley last week. They win the football game. Same thing. You put it on the shoulders of your defense, and hopefully they come out and take care of business. It wasn't a situation of 3rd and short where you put it on Matthew Stafford to get the first down because you don't want to give a short field to the team that needs 3. It's like, okay, no timeouts, forced them to have to drive the field. And credit to the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo had the drive of his life.
He was fantastic. Jimmy Garoppolo played incredibly well in the second half. He deserves the credit. Absolutely. There's still a lot of very good news with the Rams coming up next weekend. We will get into that next. Plus, we're going to hear from Jalen Ramsey. That's all coming up on the Coors Light postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
You've heard about it a lot on 710 ESPN the last few months. The 710 Mandy Awards. Sunday, February 6th at the Quiet Cannon in Montebello. It is a celebration of everything 710 ESPN. Of course, the award show has been sold out for a while now, but have you voted yet? Go to 710awards.net. Get your votes in now. And of course, the 710 Mandy Awards, proudly sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Gather the crew for a full lineup of chicken deliciousness. Visit any Buffalo Wild Wings today and enjoy.
Don't miss the Coors Light postgame show live.
Join us Sunday night at HBC for a Rams postgame party.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
We'll see you Sunday night at the Rays Lounge inside Hollywood Park Casino.
Hey, it's Travis and Sliwa. Monday morning, we're all over the Rams game right here on 710 ESPN.
Yeah, we will be, but that's not important. What is important, the best segment in LA radio, it's Ask Slee. You got one for us, Rampage?
What do you got there?
Whose house? Whose house? Rams' house.
Travis and Sliwa, weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the home of Rams football and LA sports talk all day long. 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station has even more live and local.
Hit it! LA Sports Talk.
Start your day with LA's #1 sports morning show, Keyshawn in the Morning. Now with Max Kellerman.
Hit it! Yes, I opened the door for Max to join this show on 710 ESPN.
Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max goes until 10 a.m.
You're satisfied. Travis and Sliwa are talking Lakers, Dodgers, and Rams from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Travis and Sliwa gets an extra hour. Now with more live and local LA sports talk every single day.
Then it's Mason and Ireland 1 to 4 p.m. And Sedano and Cap have your afternoon drive until 7.
It's George Sedano. It's Scott.
Talk
710 ESPN. Niners get the win today for Week 18.
Sean, where does this group stand following this deflating loss?
Yeah, exactly where you would think.
Snap back to Stafford. Four-man rush from the Niners. He launches deep down the right side. Looking for Odell Beckham Jr. It's intercepted. Intercepted at the 20. And the San Francisco 49ers have won it.
This is the Coors Light postgame show, live at Hollywood Park Casino.
Hollywood Park Casino. Elevate your game.
Coors Light postgame show on the ESPN LA Rams radio network.
Coors Light, keeping Southern California chill all season long.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Kirk Morrison.
All right, the Rams lose 27-24 in overtime to the San Francisco 49ers. As we've mentioned, that makes 6 in a row, Kirk. And let's go right to the player of the game presented by Verizon. With 5G built right for the Rams, Los Angeles can scream, stream, and share every play in Verizon 5G quality. I was ready to give it to Matthew Stafford. I was ready to give it to Cooper Kupp for that catch to give them the lead. I was ready to give it to Jalen Ramsey for that unbelievable interception, but it's got to be Deebo Samuel, right? Is there any question?
Man, Deebo was amazing today, man. Just an outstanding day for him. I thought that he was difficult to defend. And remember, you mentioned it. Not only was he receiving, was he throwing, he was catching. He did a little bit of everything, and I thought that he showed why he's one of the best weapons. Not player, just weapons in all of the NFL.
No, he has been. Look, he's a good player. When I was making my way over here to Hollywood Park Casino for the postgame show, I heard JB and Mo talking, and he's put together the most yards from scrimmage this season for any 49er since Jerry Rice. So this is just a remarkable achievement for him this year. That being said, he looks like Jerry Rice when he plays against the Rams. That he is just such a dynamic player. He can do so many different things along the way. He threw a touchdown pass. He ran for a touchdown as well. And he had 5 catches for nearly 100 yards. Just an unbelievable performance from him.
Yeah, man, this is one of the reasons why, he is such a tough guy to defend, because you don't know where he's going to line up at. You know, that's one of the hardest parts for me when I watch him in the Rams. They seem to keep an eye on him, because he's lining up in the backfield. He's lining up at wide receiver. He's in the slot. He's just all over the place. And look, today he threw the football. Think about how many times did they run the toss play to Deebo Samuel, and this time, for the first time, he pulls up and throws the football. They didn't show that all year long. So think about how many plays that they have for Deebo Samuel and had some success today.
There were some big plays for the Rams as well. Obviously, on the heels of a 27-24 loss, you're not really remembering all of the good stuff. But the fact of the matter is, they got an unbelievably big play from one of their stars in Jalen Ramsey towards the end of the game that felt like it kind of cemented the win for the Rams, or at least was going to put them in an opportunity to go down and win the game. We saw Matthew Stafford make a throw to Cooper Kupp to give them the go-ahead touchdown towards the end of the game that was a 10 out of 10 throw and a 10 out of 10 catch from Cooper Kupp. Those are the plays that you're going to have to make in the playoffs, because as difficult as it is to stomach a 27-24 overtime loss, you got to shake it pretty quickly. We don't know exactly when the Rams are going to play, but they could be playing as quickly as 6 days from now.
Yeah.
They could be playing next Sunday. They could even play next Monday night.
Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen between now and next week. And I think, honestly, is my confidence wavering with the Rams? No. I think because –
yeah, your confidence in Matthew Stafford is the same as it was, say, at the halfway point or even a couple of weeks ago.
Because I know what I'm expecting now. You know what I mean? I know what I'm expecting, and for the first half, it was kind of flawless. And in the second half, we saw the plays that we want to get away from. Right? It's the interception plays. It's him throwing the football a little bit deeper. Just being because as much as we talk about the throws that he doesn't make. Think about all the other throws that he made. I mean, come on, man. That throw to Cooper Kupp was a dime.
It was perfect.
If they win the football game, that is the play of the week. So I'm not going to put a situation in which I'm looking at Matthew Stafford and saying, oh, we got to get rid of him, because he makes so many other plays that they hide behind the interception plays that seem to be magnified so much more.
It's funny because the Rams are going to play next week. They're going to play Arizona. And the Rams, up until the final 2 weeks, Kirk, in Baltimore a week ago and today at SoFi Stadium against the 49ers, they haven't played that back and forth down to the last possession game very often this year. They've either been comfortably ahead or comfortably behind going into the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. They've had back-to-back games the last few seconds of the game. Does that prepare you? They went 1-1 in those two games. Right. Does it prepare you for play football? Because very rarely do you get playoff games that are kind of lopsided one way or the other. They typically go down to late in the fourth quarter.
So, because I think for Sean McVay, he can look back where he could be better at in terms of shortening up the game. You know what I mean? Basically trying to take into account where he has to be better, I feel like, in just understanding the situation. That third down call, to me, just sticks out so much, because the 49ers had nothing going. And a third down call in the end of the second half really, to me, opened up so much more for this 49ers team. They had momentum. They went it at half, and they seemed like, from that point on, it was just a different football game. So that's what you look at over the next week. Where can I be better as a head coach? Where can we be better at as a team? Where can we be better at as a whole entire organization? Because that's what it comes down to. Because right now, I want it to hurt. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be easy.
Motivation.
You know what I mean? It's motivation now. And so I think for them, their first loss since November.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel good. It hurts. And that's what you got to chew on all week long. And that's why I think it motivates them for next week to not only go against a familiar opponent, but to get them right back on track, just similar to how we saw when they played against them on Monday night. That's kind of what kick-started their winning streak as well. So,
and Arizona's going the wrong way in a hurry, too.
Arizona has been the Rams slump buster as well, outside of the first matchup this year. But you think about it. They played against Jacksonville, and they came back on a Monday night against Arizona. And
COVID. That was that COVID game right before the kickoff, too, that they got wiped out. They had 5 starters missing in that game.
And the Rams didn't play at full strength, and they still won the football game. I think you couldn't draw a better matchup, because the talent, across from you, and you win that football game and just win in advance. That should be the name of the game.
All right, let's try another phone call here. If you'd like to get involved, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Let's go to Inglewood right here at SoFi Stadium and Hollywood Park Casino. Rodney in Inglewood. Rodney, you're on with Travis and Kirk on the Coors Light postgame show. What's up?
What's up, fellas? Man, we got to quit giving McVay passes. Especially you, Kurt. You got to understand, Ram fans care about beating the 49ers. It's almost to the point where winning next week is not going to take this taste out our mouth. We got to see Niner fans the rest of this year. Right. And unless we win the Super Bowl, they're going to be down our throat. At the end of the first half, 3rd and 1, we go empty against a team that has dominated us physically. And it's like, why take away the threat of the run when Sony has run 5 yards on 1st down, run for another on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd and 1, and we go empty against a team that's physically dominating us for years. I just don't understand. I feel like maybe Whitworth